She is our immediate past president. Before that, she was our vice president of education. She's held so many hats in this club, and she wore those hats with pride. Tonight,
how many colors I have.
Tonight we're doing a Comedy Central roast, and I think the entire club signed up to roast Thuy Wong today. So I'm going to start from the front and work my way to the back. People, let her have it. I said, make sure it's all in good fun, because you got the email. We said, man, Thuy, you are on every single email we send out. We can't send, we're like, how did she get this email? So we had to discuss it in the club. I said, what's going on? We can't schedule a roast because it has to be secret. And every time we send an email, I'll send an email to Abdul, just to Abdul, and Thuy responds. I'm like, what's going on? How is she on every single email we send out to the club? Thuy, you need to tell us. I mean, you must have some sort of a tracker on the website or something. I'm like, so it's been like Secret Squirrel trying to arrange this roast. The food is here. The Denny's is in on it. The food is here. I was able to gather the folks. We discussed this at the executive meeting. We've been planning this for quite some time, but she's very hard to pin down. Well, we're pinning you down today, Madam Past President.
Oh,
and I'm going to start with Don Beasley, who will be the first to let you have it. Don Beasley.
All right.
Be quiet. Be quiet.
Thuy Wong, our immediate past president. I'm trying to think of the things that pop in my mind about Thuy. Just 3 or 4 things. One is, I think Thuy has been one of our more civilized presidents, which to me is important. That's very important, and she's also a snappy dresser, which you can see.
Right, the blue suit.
Yeah, so those are some good things. One thing I do admire about Thuy when she was the president, she was very much a leader by example, which I admire. You know, it wasn't participate in the speech contest, it was participate in the speech contest and try to beat me. Go to the conference, because I will be there and you can sit next to me. So I thought that was very powerful. That's very powerful, lead by example. But there's some other things about Thuy I'd like to bring to your attention. I took over as VPE after Thuy, and she sent me all these spreadsheets, which for me were tremendously complicated. You got all these sheets interconnected. You got I'm sure everything was in there, but to be honest with you, I couldn't manage it. I could not manage it. It's too complicated for me. So she has got some complicated spreadsheets. The other thing about Thuy that I really admire, and I haven't figured it out yet. Now, if you're a little bit seasoned Toastmaster, you figure out that when you give a speech in a speech contest, if you're clever and you get it evaluated, you get credit for it in your manual. And Thuy is the only person I know that has gotten credit for every speech in a speech contest. Even if it's the same speech 3 or 4 times. I don't know how she did that. But I'm glad to know her, and she's a great president.
Thank you, sir. I'd like to interject something about these speeches, and I really need to look into this. Thuy got credit. Listen to me, folks. Thuy said, listen, I have one last speech left to do. I'm like, okay, it's going to be like 10 minutes, because this is for a designation, right? No. I just have to introduce someone. Can somebody evaluate me? My entire speech is just to introduce someone. I said, Thuy, what manual is this? Is this like a Thuy manual you came up with? No, it's not like time.
Special occasions.
Special occasions. All I have to do is say, please help welcome the timer to the floor. How did I do? Evaluate me. Speech out of the way. So I don't appreciate that, and I think we really need to do a vote on this, whether or not that counts. We need to do an audit or something. We need to check her manual, sir, and see what's going on, because I don't have that manual. I'm going around the room, and I'd like to pick on the other Dawn. I would like to pick on her. Double DTM. Dawn says.
Thuy, this is a story of your life
Oh,
in Toastmasters. Thuy, I've been a member of this club for eons, since dirt. One thing I admire about her leadership style is that she always put the club and the interests of the members before herself. Many times she was ready to speak and she would step down and let someone come in and do an icebreaker. Or she would step down from a position so that some new person could do something or they would have an opportunity. That's the mark of a leader. So I have a couple of things that I want to give you. I have this pin here. This was given to me by a past district governor years ago when the division governor just left on a job assignment or something. So 3 division governors helped run that division. And she loved cats, and she said we were her angels. So this is a cat angel. So
We need to pin that cat angel.
So if anyone asks you, you could just tell them whatever you want to tell them.
So I'm a cat angel.
Yes, you are.
I went to about 12 or 13 international conferences. I don't remember where this came from. It could have been Toronto, could have been Hot Springs, it could have been wherever I went. I've been to about 13 internationals, never overseas, twice to Canada. So this is in remembrance of your presidency. So I'll give you that too.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Doc.
Now, it doesn't hammer as good as the big one, but you know.
That works.
But she was super president. So I admire her. I always will admire her for her leadership in this club. Thank you.
All right, great. That wasn't too bad. I'll stand here and pick club members. Mr. Abdul Razak. You were on the email, sorry.
I have a flash drive for you, so.
Mr. Abdul.
Well, I want to thank you also, Ms. Thuy.
Thank you so much.
And all your ethnic stories, I enjoyed them all.
Which
The
did
big
you like first?
bear and the cigarettes, and she had, anybody hear a story about her challenges as a young child in the streets of Vietnam, selling cigarettes and all that. It was really an incredible story. And donuts. And I felt sorry for her, but then again, look at her. She's just so rigid. What's the word?
That's the magic of being Muslim.
Yeah, it's just powerful, powerful. And look at you here now. And for the first time ever, an Oriental leprechaun. Another folk story. Another folk story. Thank you so much.
I can't touch that one. The next person who would like to roast you, obviously, is our resident MD, our joke master with pockets of joke, Dr. Paul Descant. All right, Paul.
Have a little seat, because we will have you smoking before it's all over with. You know something. And I think back. We see folks come, see folks go, we see folks stay, and we see folks grow. Well, you have been the biggest growth here. You're kind of like the little old Jack and the Beanstalk, and that beanstalk went way up there because you came in here. I'm not your well-hearing individual, so you came in and you talked in your sweet little timid voice, and I'm sitting back there in the back trying to strain my big old ears, my French ears, trying to get them suckers up. But you know something? What happened in that transition period from when you came to where you are now?
I scream now.
Yeah, I know. You can get that sound back to the back of the room, which is great. So through your growth and development, so to speak, we've all had a benefit from it. And all we can say is thank you
All right.
All right.
for being you and doing what you do.
Thank you.
I talk bad about men.
I knew you really didn't mean it because you keep dragging your husband and your son here. So I know you didn't mean it.
Okay, how are we doing on time? The time has indicated that we are almost out of time, but I would like to take this opportunity to give anyone else in the room, because we're flexible, we're Toastmasters, she will only be roasted once. I would like to give an opportunity to anyone else in the room who would like to say something to our immediate past president. See, this roast wasn't bad. It's not like those, these Comedy Central drag you through the mud, say horrible things about you, because it's so difficult to find horrible things to say about you. And I think that's why everyone's hesitant. It's supposed to be funny and supposed to point out things that she did that were wrong and hilarious. So it's very difficult to say that about someone like Thuy. So now I'm going to open the floor to anyone else who'd like to say a couple of good words. I'm starting with Alyssa, a couple of good words to Thuy, our immediate past president.
Miss Thuy, I came here, I think in the middle of your first term, I think you're going to your second term, and I thought you were an amazing president, of course. We have two amazing presidents. And I thought that really, like everybody else said, you had amazing stories. I loved your speeches because you made it so personalized, and that's what I think that really, really helped me with my speeches because, I wasn't sure at first because I was like, okay, I don't know what to talk about, I don't know what they like to hear, but just hearing everybody else's, especially yours, and how you talked about your childhood and how you talked about, and other things too, especially with Toastmasters, that was amazing. So I thought you were one of the great speakers. And also, I thought you ran Toastmasters very fluently and very smoothly because every time I came in here, I really saw structure, and I was like, okay. And it was overwhelming at first. It was like, okay, oh gosh, I don't know how am I going to fit into this. A little, I think I was 18, I was 18 at the time, a little 18-year-old, okay. But, after I get into it, it's becoming more clearer. But that really helped me to grow up. And so, of course, with everybody else in Toastmasters. So I just want to say thank you for that, for the structure, for your words, for your past, and just for everything. Because I think you were just an amazing, not only president, but amazing person.
All right.
All right. During the club's contest, we had one of our club members give a speech that was just it took me by surprise. I was like, what's going on? Is this a real speech? And the speech was a goodbye to Toastmasters speech because she's leaving Toastmasters. I can't believe it. I said, we need to speak to that fiance of yours and tell him he needs to move to Spring. You're not moving to the other side of Houston. So this club member will not have an opportunity to roast or say anything nice or not so nice, to our immediate past president. I would like to give her the opportunity to say a few words to Thuy Wong. Please help me welcome Miss Biana.
So, I was sitting back there thinking about Thuy as a president. And I would always find myself thinking, she is so energized, just always going. She's energized, she's organized, she's structured, and she's pretty funny too. And because she's so put together, one wouldn't think that she's as funny as she is when she gets up to do her speeches. But what I like about you, Thuy, as a president, was the way that you led. You were organized, and you came in. I don't think I ever saw you distraught about anything, and you were proactive. So whenever you weren't going to be there, you made sure that you communicated that to the club. You made sure that you had individuals in place to make sure that the agenda and the meeting will flow properly. So I think that those are great qualities in a leader, and I really appreciated that as president when I came in feeling, almost really coming in feeling a position, didn't really know really much about SST, and I came in and I was secretary, so it was good to have people who were practicing and demonstrating good leadership skills. I had a great executive committee when I first came in, and you were one of those individuals. I really appreciate the leadership role that you, and the leadership skills you've shown as a president.
Sorry for dragging you.
I know, you were like, do you want to be our secretary? Okay.
I'm gonna do it. I'm like, what?
Right.
That's right.
Yeah, that's basically how that went.
As the club's president, and in light of the time, I'm going to say, Mr. Toastmaster, that at the end of the meeting, I'd like to skip the reporting section because we have run past our table topics, so we're going to skip the reports. I felt that we needed the opportunity and ample time to roast Thuy in whatever manner we feel like roasting her. And again, it's very difficult to say something mean and funny about somebody who's so structured and who's such an amazing person. I've said so many good things about Thuy, and they still remain true. I don't want to say them again and for Dr. Paul to say, oh my gosh, she's only human, stop saying all these great things. But I think of her as a great individual. I think of her as the level-headed voice of reason. I said that to her once. There are times in this club when you have to be resilient and not take things personally, and I found myself in those positions a number of times. And I'm like, oh, heck no. Okay, what's going on? And she'll say, oh, Nadia, da-da-da-da, da-da. And I'll say, thank you so much for being the level-headed voice of reason for me, Thuy. And so that's what I would like you to know, that I appreciate the person that you are as a Toastmaster, as a woman, as a wife, and as a friend. And I wish I could find something horribly funny to say, but there is nothing. I just appreciate you. And I'd like to give you this opportunity, since we've all said things about you. I'll give you an opportunity to say what you have to say in light of being blindsided by this roast. Ms. Thuy Wong. Absolutely.
Fellow Toastmaster, honored guest. Believe it or not, I have not know anything about tonight.
Yes.
I prepared my whole speech and question for my table topic.
Next week.
And the method of believing is my favorite subject. When I read on the agenda, I say, yay, I'm gonna say something about it. It's not like Nadia said, oh, email sent out and I know that. I did not know anything. I truly, truly appreciate what you all gave me just now, all the words that meant so much to me. I came here shy, couldn't speak up a word, speak very soft, nobody in the back there could hear me well, but now I'm confident to stand here to speak to you all confidently. And the back seat could hear me now. And thanks you for helping me overcome that obstacles and help me grow it. Thank you again, my dear fellow Toastmaster. I'm so honored and pleasure to be with you for the last few years, and I will continue to sit here and continue to learn from you all, my dear fellow Toastmaster and honored guests.
Can we stand and give her a round of applause? Okay, at this point, I'd like to turn it over to the Toastmaster, who will put us on a break.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, you give everybody else that was a roast. I can imagine her driving home singing, I believe I can fly.